How's it going, everybody? Goldhead here, and welcome back to the channel. This is going to be 20 tips and tricks that I can provide you for the brand new game Chivalry 2. I do want to point out that I'm not going to be touching on how to pick up a chicken or pick up certain items and how much damage that will produce, or archery. I will just not touch up on those basic common knowledge things that you probably already know, so we do not waste any time. We can jump right in to some of the things that I do to help me win more games along with have a higher KD. Hopefully this video provides you with some of the answers or tips and tricks that will help you, and if it does, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, and if you don't want to subscribe, just hit that like button and that will help out just fine. So coming in at number 1 is going to be settings. We can adjust this in game or at the main menu. Now the first thing here is going to be auto sprint. We want to make sure that we have that enabled, and then also full gore. We want to make sure that we have that on, because if someone's all bloody, that is going to indicate that they are a one hit, and you definitely want to have that on. Next up is going to be motion blur. We want to have this turned off. We're not driving a car, and this is going to make the game look a lot better in fight, especially if you're in front of 3 guys and they're all moving around and you're trying to swing at the same time. You're going to be able to see a lot better if you have that turned off. Next up is going to be sensitivity. We want to have this a little bit higher. That's how I like it. I just turn it up 3 notches, I believe. So once you do that, that is going to help your swing improve a lot more, especially if you're using the first person feature that I usually do, and that will also help you get the 360 spin that you definitely want to have with your swings. Next up is going to be armor and appearance for number 2. Now you can adjust what your armor looks like along with taking your helmet off, and if you have the special edition, you can have gold and black armor. Those are things you want to think about on what you look like in the battlefield, because that will adjust how enemies attack you. I roll with no helmet on, that is up to you, but if you don't have a helmet on or you're using the special DLC armor, you will find that people hunt you out a lot more often as if you just look default with a helmet on. See, if I put a helmet on right there, I would look more as default as if I didn't play the game as much, but you will find if you don't have a helmet on or you have special armor on, more people will hunt you out more than if you just had default on. So that is something you want to think about if you want to lay low more often or run into battle and not be noticed as much. Next up is going to be number 3, and that is going to be healing. I'm going to touch on this real quick. You probably already know all this stuff, but you will have bandages that will heal you. You get 1 every spawn. You can grab another one at the resupply after you use it, and then also flags that your teammates can throw down will give you health, along with these medical boxes that you can walk right over that other teammates can throw down, or you can throw down your own and just walk right over it and it will start healing you. Next up is going to be castle keep equipment along with weapons. Now we all have different equipment, and we might have spike posts that we can throw down to adjust how enemies fight around us. And there are also traps around the battlefield that we can throw our secondary items or any items at, and they will drop on top of opponents. Now on top of keeps, there are ballistas along with barrels and rocks, things that we can pick up and throw, especially if people are coming up the ramps and like 2 or 3 people coming up the ramp. You can throw a barrel and knock a couple of them off, and that will just help the siege happen. Now another thing too is ballistas. If someone's not on it and the enemy is close enough, you might want to hop on it, get a couple quick kills or just one and move along. Now right above the gate is 2 sets of rocks. Now if they're breaking the gate and you are defending, you might want to come over here, grab a couple rocks and throw them down. Now some players like to go onto the sides of the gate, so you can't do that, but if you can get an angle, throw a rock. But overall for this tip, use the equipment that they give you if you are defending. So if you have extra equipment around you, use that stuff instead of just running out there and doing a one-on-one that turns on to a 3-on-1 because they're spawning and you're already out there and all you did was die and respawn. Next up is going to be Siege Weapons 2.0. So when you are attacking and you have broken through their defense, remember that you can use their equipment against them. So you can flip these ballistas around, and if they were fighting the courtyard, see, they've already went inside, but if they're fighting in the courtyard, you can use their ballista against them along with their rocks. You can go up there and grab their rocks and barrels and throw them against them. For number 6 is going to be bastard weapons. Now these are weapons that you did not spawn in with. So around any battlefield there are going to be weapons that you can pick up, just like this javelin here, or you can pick up chickens and throw them. those are weapons that we can find on the battlefield. Now, if you are not around anything that you can pick up like that, you can also pick up your opponents or your dead teammates' weapons and shields. Now, if you pick those up, they will be in full condition. But if you look at the shield right here on the ground, it does not look like it's in full condition. It's about to break, but you can actually pick that up and it will still be in full condition. It just looks busted up for the effects. But once you pick it up, it will be in full effect. Next up is going to be OBJ. So you are going to be defending or storming castles in some of the game genres here. Now for the OBJ, if you are breaching gates or you are attacking the siege, you want to keep in mind to be part of the OBJ, because that is how you are going to win, along with put you around enemies that you can kill to get a high kill game along with wins, so you have a better time. Now, every spawn I like to contribute something to the OBJ and then go back to killing enemies that are around the OBJ, so other people that are coming in or just playing OBJ strictly can have an easier pass to get in there and do what they need to do. And overall, seeing objective complete and winning games is going to make you have a better time in this game, because no one likes to lose. So number 7 OBJ is going to bring us into number 8, which is going to be defend OBJ. So if you are playing objective and you are defending, the areas that you want to be is around the OBJ, because the enemies are just going to come to you instead of you just running out to enemies to get kills, and then before you know it, you're in a 4-on-1 because they're just spawning and you're out in the battlefield and no one else is around you. So keep in mind, the enemies will come to you if you're defending the prisoners or defending the gate or defending the keep, and that way you can get an easy kill and you can move on to your next target. As you can see here, other enemies are just spawning in, and it's not 3 or 4 at a time, it's just one coming up at you, and you can easily clear them out instead of having 3 people on you at once. Next up for number 9 is going to be changing teams. Now this might be useful to you if you've been playing a couple games as Red Mason or Blue Agatha. It's up to you if you want to change and just keep that color, so you're never having to, every time you play a game, have to figure out, alright, are we attacking blue or red? That might come in handy if you want to keep one color. For number 10, I do want to throw a cheesy one in here, but it is important, and this is something we're going to touch on before we get into fighting technique, and that is to have fun, and that is having fun with your character class. This is an RPG game, and you should be having fun while you're playing it, but you do want to choose a class that you are good with, but you also have fun with at the same time. Instead of picking a class that you're not good with and you're trying to get better, that's not really going to bring you a good time. You want to do something you dominate with if you're having a good time when you win, and that way you can win more games, get more kills, and you're having a good time overall playing an RPG. For number 11, it is going to be fight like a Jedi. If you can get into a fight without just running in there swinging, it might benefit you more times than not. So if you can jump off something and then do a swing right on top of them, that is going to be a hit, and you are going to be more successful in your fights. Another thing is running and picking up items. You do not need to stand still and look at an item to pick it up. You can just run over it and hit that button and it will pick it up immediately. One other thing is use your mind and your ears. People are going to come up behind you all the time, and there's nothing you can do about it, and that is what you want to do too. But you need to adjust how you're dashing and blocking, so you're moving away from that person and getting the new person in the fight in front of you, so you can do your heavy swings and get those kills. Heavy swings are going to be crucial for fighting multiple people. That way you can block all their hits real quick and then do a comeback swing real quick, and it will hit all of them at the same time, hopefully. But another thing you want to do is make sure that you are getting in as many fights as you can and assisting your teammates. You don't want to always instigate fights and start them. You want to assist other players as much as you can, so you can get those kills and make sure that your teammates don't die, and also limit how much health they lose. Next up is going to be dodging and shuffling. This is something that is going to be crucial to not breaking your weapon, because breaking your weapon will happen all the time if you just keep blocking in front of you. What you want to do is shuffle to the left or right, or you can just even shuffle backwards, so then they can't hit you and you don't have to block, so you are ready to attack again. Also, if you're always blocking, they can just kick you and that will break your block and you will be staggered. So if you just shuffle backwards, they can't stagger you. That way you can keep multiple enemies in front of you, always watch their attacks, and also repeat an attack so you can kill them. And that will help you get enemies to always stay in front of you, because that is crucial. Next up for number 13 is going to be weapons and class. So when you change a class, you're going to have this page here with Knight, Footman, Vanguard, and Archer. And at the top right, you're going to have your life total along with your movement speed. And it will also show you your equipment and your special. Now equipment can be changed. Instead of just having a spike post, you can have a bear trap in some of the classes. But also at the top left is going to be your weapons and your primary. This is what you want to focus on picking the right weapon for you if you are going to be a Vanguard, a Footman, or a Knight. So weapons are going to be broken down with damage, reach, and speed. Something to think about here is damage does not matter on the primary. Every weapon is going to do good enough amount of damage for the Knight, Footman, or Vanguard. So don't look at the damage. You really want to focus on your reach and your speed and how fast you produce combos. If you're doing a sword and shield combo, you want to have good amount of combo speed, because when you block an attack, you can swing once and then swing twice again, because most people do a swing and then a block, a swing and a block. But if you do 2 of those attacks right after you have blocked them, the second one will land more times than not. But your reach, if you're right in front of somebody and you're not hitting them, that is because your reach is not good enough. You want to have a better reach and less damage. And plus, if you're chest to chest with somebody, you cannot see the left and right enemies, and that way you can also have a better reach on swinging. So those are the things that you need to think about when you are picking your weapon. Number 14 is going to be the Knight. I am going to show you the sword and shield combo. Having a shield is going to help you a lot get those combos and your first attack in there. But as you can see here, we're right there and we do not have a reach, and sometimes the swing time is a little bit longer. I am going to show you this fight right here. So when we get in here, we want to make sure that we hit with our shield so we have a block, and then we can move right in with a hit and then dash back out. That is how we can use the Knight, keep people in front of us and never have anybody to our back, but we're always blocking and dashing, and we're getting the hits in where we can. And with the reach, if you have a good reach with the Knight, you can get a better swing in there to hit multiple enemies at the same time. Next up is going to be the Footman. I do want to show you a couple clips here that are going to make a big difference on how you play. So with the Footman, you don't always want to just run in straight in battle. You want to bob and weave and get into the sides of fights. That way you can always land a special heavy, or you can always get in there with a jab or a poke and at least get one good assist hit in to help your teammates. Another thing too is most of the time when someone has a one-handed weapon, they're always moving forward and hitting. If you have a longer spear type weapon or anything with better reach, move backwards while they're hitting, while you're blocking at the same time, so that way you're always getting out of their reach, but you're keeping them in your reach because they are staying in front of you by hitting and moving and forward. Next up is going to be side attacking, kind of like what I touched on, and I'm just going to elaborate a lot more here, is watch how I get into fights and I'm just staying to the sides. I'm not going head on, I'm just getting somebody, moving into another fight and continuing assisting people, but also getting kills and hitting from the side. I like to just get involved with as many fights as I can. If I see 2 of my teammates on one person, I'm not going to go fight that one person. I'm just going to go get on somebody else's back and hit them, and that way we can get assist, kills, and we are clearing out the OBJ. This way, if we are not the center of a fight where everybody wants to fight us, we can step back and get some heals, we can put a bandage on, we can go get more arrows if we're not the center of a fight, any of those types of things. Another thing here is if you are down, do not get up. You can still hit, and if you hit 2 times, you can press that button and you will be right back up. You can retreat a little bit, put some more HP in, and you are ready to go back out and fight. Next up is Boomerang. Now this can be something that will help you a lot and also help your teammates if you are in a battle and you just keep getting enemies on you. So what you can do is you can get into a fight, and as you can see here, I got a couple guys in front of me. Now what we can do is we can move out of that fight and then just flip back around and come in it one more time. That way your enemies will overextend because they think they're only fighting one more person, and you are back into the fight fighting again. So the last couple things that I want to talk about is the running special attack. Now, as you can see, when you are running, you will have two bars in front of you, and you can sometimes tackle on some of the characters, but the other one is going to be a special running attack. Now, that is something that you want to enter battles with if you can. So as you can see here, we're just going to keep running backwards and getting back in the fight, use our special attack, and then move right back out. And that is the U-turn. That's what I like to call it, because we're getting in the fight, then we're moving right back out of it where it looks like we're fleeing and they might overextend, and we're just coming right back in there immediately with another special attack. This will also prove useful if you are coming in on the sides to do a running special attack. Now, something else that is very important to note is you see how I just got tackled. If you get tackled and you are on the ground, if you dash backwards 2 times, just keep pressing that button real quick, you will get up faster if you just didn't do anything and you were moving backwards. But overall, with the U-turn, you do need to charge up your run in order to do it. So that's how I like to just get that run real quick and get that back. And then you can use your special attack and go right back in, and also kind of manipulate them and thinking you're running away, but you're right back in it. And that's going to sum up my 20 tips and tricks that I have today for this brand new medieval game that is so amazing. If this video has been helpful, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. If you have any questions at any time, feel free to drop a comment down below, or you can hit me up personally on my Instagram. The link is in the description box, and I'll see you guys next time. Gold Hat signing off.